Evening, guys. Welcome to another live stream with yours truly, Alan Scouser. Hope you've all had a nice week and have managed to stay cool in this this bloody awful hot weather. Absolutely sick of it. I'm not going to go on too much about it, guys, but it's been really, really hot over the last couple of days, and I think it's about time to cool down. I haven't been able to sleep overnight, it had me fan on full blast, and I just generally hate it. I just wish it'd go away, the sooner the better. Yeah. All right then, guys. So I've got a couple of movies there I brought along to show you. They're not all horror, what I've recently picked up. So I'm just going to go into, before I start, let me know if there's any problems with either the audio or visual, because I wouldn't like to think, I'm rabbiting on and nobody can hear or see me. So let me know at all if there's any problems, with either. Yeah. All right then, guys. So without further ado, let's just have a look at the comments and see what we've got in tonight. Am I dead yet here? Hi, Alan and everyone. You okay? Thanks for stopping by. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. Miserable old guess. Hi, Alan. Oh, sorry about that. Just comments are going a bit weird. Hi, Alan. Hope you are okay, Steve. I'm not too bad, thanks, Steve. Yeah, just bearing up, as I said before, with this bloody hot weather. I can't stand it. Yeah, hope you're good as well. Thanks for stopping by. Always nice to see you. Brian's here. Brian Gilson. Hi, Alan and everyone. You okay, Brian? Thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you. Lewis Clark. Hey, Alan. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well and been watching some great horror movies. Okay, Lewis. I'm not too bad, thanks. Yeah, as I say, trying to do my best to stay cool in this awful heat. Yeah, I've watched a couple of movies and that. I'll probably talk about later on. As I said, I've got a couple there I recently bought. I'll show you all in a minute. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Gina Walpole. Hi, Alan, everyone. You okay, Gina? Thanks for stopping by. Nice to see you again. Brian Gilson assures me that the audio and video are good. Oh, thanks very much, Brian. Yeah, I'm always, what's the name of StreamYard and that, because sometimes it has an annoying tendency to behave unpredictably, So I always like to make sure before I really get going, get to full gear with the stream, everything's okay. There's no hitches of that, because I say, I wouldn't like to think like that. I'll say I'm rabbiting on, nobody can hear me or indeed see me. Yeah. Kevin, hi Alan, everyone. You okay, Kev? Thanks for stopping by, mate. Nice to see you. Hope you've had a nice week. And if you've been Blu-ray hunting, DVD hunting, I hope you've managed to pick up some bargains. Miserable old git, sad about network DVDs. It is, yeah. I always hate to hear of a new company going under, and it impacts very, very badly on the hopes of physical media collectors like like me, like all you guys who collect physical media. Yeah, and it's I blame a lot of it on this blooming streaming. There's a lot of them streaming now, and when COVID set in, that sort of like accelerated the tendency to rent movies out, all the more because, obviously with the COVID, everybody was staying in, like lockdown and that, and they would turn into streaming, as alternative means of watching movies. And I think it's stuck really, it's sort of like it's had a very, very malign influence on the viewing habits of people. But yeah, very, very sad about Network. I love Network. I've got quite a few of their DVDs. Yeah. So just keep fingers crossed they do resurface in some form or other. I've got my cat there in the background, guys. Lucky, yeah. So if you see a black figure moving around, it's we've got 3 cats, and this is Lucky, yeah. So as long as he doesn't come crawl along the keyboard and that, yeah, he's lovely, yeah, he really is. We love all 3 cats to bits, yeah. So. Right, just comments, guys. So yeah, so it's good to be here live again on Thursday night with you all, guys. We're talking about movies, horror movies. Oh, by the way, I'm going to start having some guests on starting from next week. I'm going to be having Jordan from Movie Worm. He's going to be joining me next week, so I'm looking forward to that. And in the weeks to follow, I'm going to be sending out more invitations to all those people you know, who've expressed an interest in appearing on my channel as a guest. It might be one-to-one at first. Now I don't know how it's going to pan out yet, or I might have 2 people on, 3 people at the most. But I'll just see how it goes now, and just see what people are available on one particular date. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah. So. Miserable old git. Hang on to your network DVDs to make go out of print. Yeah, certainly will. Love network. Miserable guess. Hi, Kevin. Yeah. Gina Walpole really love cats. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. We've always had cats. Yeah. And he's very cute looking in that, you know. Sometimes you've got to watch him, though, with the shees and that, you know, it can be a bit of a randy bugger. Oh, Mrs. Yeah. But we've had them done and that, you know, so there's no danger of them having kittens, you know. Am I dead? Yes. Favourite horror film involving a cat. Favourite horror film involving a cat. I've got quite a few. The Cat People. I love The Uncanny. Starring Peter Cushing, the anthology movie from 1977. I love that one. Oh gosh, The Cat People and the Uncanny would say are me two favourite creepy cat movies. And then there was another one as well, Two Evil Eyes, where you had like 2 stories. That was quite a good creepy cat movie. Yeah. So oh yeah, I love those movies. They're fantastic. There's some have been very, very. There's one cat movie, guys. I haven't got my collection. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a movie called Strays. What year was it made? Was it the late 80s or early 90s? I can't remember, but it's basically about well, from what I can gather from the trailers, about cats going on a rampage and that, you know, and attacking people. So I'm going to add that to my collection and that, you know, see if Amazon Germany's got it and that. But oh yeah, I love a good creepy cat movie. And he's creeping around now. Behave yourself now. Kevin to Miserable Old Git. Hi, mate. Brian Gilson, Scream and Scream Again is being released on Blu-ray by Radiance in September. All right. Thanks for that. Miserable Old Git. I've watched Sally Lot. Got first time I saw it was 19. God, Mr. Barlow made me jump 6 feet. Oh yeah, Salem's Lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that. I've said it many times. I love that 1979 original with you know, with David Soul and James Mason. I don't know about this new one, what they've made. I'm not going to go in with my expectations too high until I've actually seen it and that, you know, and then I'll reserve my judgments until I've seen the whole movie, and then I must probably do a review of it. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with the story, whether they change it in any great detail, you know, in terms of King's original novel. Or will they stick with the original novel word for word? Yeah, I don't know. So can't really comment, obviously, until I've actually seen it. Am I Dead? Yes, is saying, I like that short story on Tales from the Dark Side film where the hitman goes to this rich old guy's house to kill a cat. You've seen that? Oh, is that The Cat from Hell? Based on the Stephen King short story. Yeah, I've seen that. If I can remember, it's quite grotesque at the end, isn't it? What happens at the end? Yeah. I think I've seen that one. Yeah, the cat. Oh, sorry, guys, just getting comfortable here. The Cat from Hell. Yeah, it's a good one. That Richard Brown, Cat from Hell by Stephen King. I thought it was. Yeah. Any of you guys seen that new Boogeyman movie that's come out? That's based on the original short story by Stephen King from his 1977 horror anthology Night Shift. Yeah, it was quite creepy. Yeah, because in the original story, it's about this guy. Basically, he goes to a psychiatrist and he's in a psychiatrist's office, and he's saying about his family's getting tormented by this entity in the closet known as the Boogeyman. It turns out that all along the psychiatrist who's taking notes on that and listening to him, he's actually the Boogeyman with the Dr. Harper mask on. You know, that's the name of the psychiatrist, Dr. Harper. And towards the end of the story, he takes the mask off and the Boogeyman's revealed in all his horrific, shouldn't really say glory, should I? Yeah, well, for what he really is, you know, his grotesque countenance. Yeah, one of Stephen King's greatest short stories, in my opinion. Another Stephen King short story, guys, I'm very fond of, and it's quite creepy. It's a story called The Man in the Black Suit. And if you guys read that, it's basically about this. I won't tell you too much about it, but it starts off with this old guy. He's sort of like narrating something that happened to him many years ago. when he was a young boy in the woods and that. I think he was fishing in the woods and that. And this fella comes up to her in a black suit. Turns out to be none other than the devil himself, And Old White King describes him in that, Satan and that, in the woods and that. Oh, it's real creepy, yeah. So if you haven't read that one, guys, The Man in the Black Suit, I'd highly recommend, you read it. It's one of Stephen King's greatest short stories, in my opinion. I found a lot of his short stories are better than his novels, He's written some cracking short stories in his time. Stephen King, I like that one, The Raft, as well. That's a good one, The Raft, yeah. And Chastity Teeth, that's a good Stephen King short story, yeah. Well, there's quite a few, yeah. As I say, some are even better than some of the novels he's written. Miserable old Git saying, I love the Batman books. Oh, yeah, when he adopted the identity of Richard Batman. I must admit, I haven't read all of them in their entirety. I've only read snippets of them. The Running Man, books like that, and Rage and that, yeah. So, a lot of people do like is Richard Batman books, don't they? Kevin is saying, I've heard Fox has censored the French Connection. Oh, what the hell are they playing at? What have they censored it for? It's not woke concerns again, is it? They're bloody nuisances censoring things, and I haven't got anything better to do than chop films up for for no logical, sensible reason. It's bloody ridiculous. It really is. There's not going to be anything left, is there, intact? All the old classics are going to be butchered, beyond recognition. It's bloody stupid. I didn't like what they've done with the James Bond books either, guys. Well, you've probably seen my videos. I've been very, very vehement about what they've done with the James Bond and also the Roald Dahl books as well. You won't leave them alone. They're part of history. They're trying to erase history. The bloody stupid idiots. You can't erase history. It's part of history. What will they be doing next? Will be censoring the Bible, will they? They mustn't have anything better to do than sit on the dirty big fat backside and say, oh, what can we censor now? I know, we'll censor a passage from a 17th century novel. Oh, get lost. What planet are these people on? They call them sensitivity readers. What a bloody laugh, sensitivity readers. What person in the right mind would work for a publisher who wanted classic books, passages taken out and that, they're bloody stupid. And, I think the government needs to do something about all this bloody madness about going back and censoring books and that. It's bloody ridiculous, really is. Richard Brown is saying The Boogeyman is directed by the same director as the British horror film Host, which was a great little film, right? Kevin's asking me, have you any more thoughts on the live stream Facebook page idea? Oh yeah, it's very much uppermost in my mind here, Kevin. Yeah. But the thing is, at the moment, I believe I told you, I've got I've got two profiles on Facebook. I've got my normal one, and I've got this pesky bloody mess of business page I can't get rid of. I've tried everything to try and get rid of it because it's a pain, because when people send me messages, it diverts me sometimes. So this bloody mess of business page and that pops up and I've got to go into that. It's horrible. It's a kind of a business page where I created it unknowingly. Didn't know basically what was going to happen with it. But it's been a big intrusion on my normal Facebook, routine, guys. I only want the one Facebook page, to talk about movies and me books and that, and me followers, to chat to me. I have actually got a couple of Facebook groups, Facebook groups, horror stories, true ghost stories. We've got thousands of members now. So I'm keeping them. But yeah, it's a good idea. But as I say, when you're setting a Facebook page up, you've got to be very careful. It doesn't start it as this bloody mess of business thing is doing. Diverting some of my emails to the bloody mess of business Facebook page. I'm still trying to get rid of it and that, And so if anybody's got a good idea, I can get rid of it right away. Let me know. It's a bloody nuisance. I only really want one Facebook profile. I don't want this bloody mess of business thing, Miserable old Gis. Love the Langoliers DVD by Stephen King. Yeah. Kevin William Wardle. It's all because Fox are owned by Disney now. I see you peeking over my shoulder. Lucky the cat. Yeah, you can't go out now. It's all because Fox are owned by Disney now. Oh, Disney! Oh God, they made a right bloody mess of their movies, haven't they? That bloody Little Mermaid and that woke madness and that. It's bombed and bombed at the international box office. That, you know, it's about time the booked their ideas up and started making movies that people want to watch. Nobody wants to watch all this woke nonsense, you know, this identity politics and that. What they're sort of like trying to, you know, perpetuate. You know, it won't work, Disney. It won't work. You know, so you want to get back to the way the late great Walt Disney, his ideas, his ideals. You want to stop all this bloody woke madness. I wouldn't go and see movies like that. You know, they're not my cup of tea at all. You know, so I said, you want to get that act together. And I've seen trailers of that Little Mermaid, and the colour is bloody horrible. It's like, I call it a dirty dishwater colour. Dirty, horrible dishwater colour movie. Yeah, no colour, no magic, and as I say, the story looks crap. Everything about it's crap. You know, and by all accounts, it should never have been made. Yeah. So as I say, Disney, you want to book your ideas up and start making proper family entertainment movies as well. All this bloody transgender nonsense as well that's going on. It's ridiculous. How have we got to this point, guys? How have we got to it? You know, it's just unbelievable. I mean, if Walt Disney was here now, he wouldn't believe what these woke idealists have done to his company. Miserable old guess. On the Buses movies on ITV3 are cut. Oh, you're joking, aren't you? They haven't cut them as well. Are they bloody nuts? There's something missing up in their bloody stupid heads. They want to get a bloody life. Idiots. Do you know what? If I was in charge of these corporations, I'd sack them on the spot. These ones, they're sitting on the dirty big fat backside saying, oh, what could we scrap now? I know. We'll scrap a line from 1971's On the Buses. Get a bloody life and get out of our sights. As I say, the government needs to take action against these idiots that are censoring things. What's wrong with them? They won't censor the things that matter, though, will they? They don't seem to do much about the knife crime and that, and all the obscenity that's getting sort of like perpetuated everywhere. Yeah, oh no, harmless things they want to censor. Yeah, there's something missing up here, I think, with these idiots. Need to get a life. Right, so I've had me rants. Go. Gothic Rose 82. What is your favorite George A. Romero film? Well, I like Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, I'm not really a great fan of George A. Romero. You know, those Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. I was never really a huge fan of them, but I do like the original 1968 Night of the Living Dead. Miserable old guess. Good Batman book in is thinner. Yeah. Hang on a minute, guys. I think my cat wants to go into the living room. Yeah, Lucky, do you want to go into the living room? Yeah, you're going in there. You're going in. You're going in. No. I'll leave the door open to run on the stairs, guys. He's restless tonight. It's this bloody hot weather. It's making everybody restless, I think. Can't remember the last time I had a good night's sleep with this bloody stinking heat. These presenters as well, guys, you know, oh God, yeah, again this week. I don't want to go on so much about it, but the first thing when you switch the radio on, oh, isn't it a glorious day? It's a lovely hot day today. I even got one clown ringing up to the local radio station, and he said he was moaning because the area where he lived, guys, it gone cloudy and a bit cooler, and he started bellyaching. What's happened to the sun? We didn't have the sun very long, did it? Well, bloody hell, you can't have the sun every day. You've got to have a bit of cool weather at some point in that. You know, these people want it all year round. I just don't understand them at all. You know, I'll be glad to see the bloody back of it myself. I'm not a great lover of summer. I never have been. I never will. I think summer's overrated, if you ask me. And these people go mad on hot weather. Oh, it's hot weather and that. You know, get the barbecues out. Bugger off. You know, that's just my opinion. You know, I am an autumn and winter person through and through, and I always will be. And nobody will ever change my mind about that. Yeah, so these ones that like summer, that's fine. You're welcome to it. If you want to sort of like, live a sort of life where you sort of like you can't sleep of a night, you're thirsty all the time. Well, that's you. Everybody to their own taste, but you know, there's people also a lot of people like me that don't like it. You know, so fingers crossed it'll go soon. Anyway, moving on. Back to the horror talk. Where are we? Sorry, guys, just the comments are going a bit weird. Miserable get good Batman book is thinner. Yeah, very good. Good one, that. Am I dead? Yeah, go woke, go broke, as they say. Yeah, let's hope they do go bloody broke, and all they bloody deserve to lose millions. They really do. Disney are losing so much cash, and I've got no bloody sympathy for them either. As I'm also speaking for the majority of people here when I say it's their own bloody fault for churning out bloody celluloid garbage, woke garbage, and that, you know. And you need to sort of like fight this woke madness and that, you know, because it's getting very dangerous, really, guys. They're trying to dictate what you can watch and what you can't watch, and people should start sort of like protesting and sort of like, you know, trying to stop it in its tracks before it gets really out of control. You know, this sort of idea, I don't want to get too political, but this sort of like philosophy and these ideas are very, very dangerous, you know, banning everything and that, you know. If they had their way, they'd ban the bloody air that you breathe, you know. But yeah, so there you go. Kevin's saying, oh, no, not on the buses. Yeah, on the buses, yeah. By the sounds of it, like they're targeting that now, bloody idiots. They are. There's something missing. You know, these ones that you know, they're just there. They're just playing on the they're just playing the oversensitivity card, you know. They just want to ban things and that, you know. If they had their way, there'd be no bloody entertainment left. If any of you are watching, you're bloody idiots. That's all you are. You're bloody idiots. Get a life. Richard Brown, let's talk about horror. Yeah, let's talk about horror. Yeah, yeah. Favorite Christopher Lee movie, favorite Peter Cushing movie, favorite Vincent Price movie. Let's get the horror talk rolling in. Miserable old gets true right here. The guy on TV gets out there, gets some raised press. Yeah, they're idiots, aren't they? Some are freaks. So I love all awesome. Absolutely love awesome. When it's a cool awesome, you know, you got all the colours and that, you know, and the nice, you get that nip in the air, don't you? But you don't get it so much now with this bloody global warming. But when you do, I really love it. You know, love awesome and that, yeah. Then you got winter, Christmas and that. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely my favourite times of the year. Don't like summer at all. It's overrated. Kevin's saying Night of the Living Dead is a classic. Indeed it is, yeah, definitely. Miserable old Gis, yeah, love awesome, yeah, man after my own heart. Miserable old Gis, so many streaming sites, some will go broke, too many, there is too many, yeah. And when you've got like on our telly, for instance, we've got that many channels, we don't know where to start. Obviously, we've got the normal BBC One, you know, iPlayer and all that, you know, but we've got all these other channels and that I've never heard of, and they're adding to them all the time, aren't they, guys? You know. So, I'm going to show you a couple of movies now, guys. One of which has been, well, I think it's actually still on BBC. It's like a horror thriller series with elements of comedy in. It's called, yeah, I've got it here. Inside Number 9. Fantastic series. It's like Roald Dahl and Brian Clemence's Thriller rolled into one, and all the twists in some of these stories, guys, absolutely jaw-dropping. You know, I was pleasantly surprised actually because I didn't go in. I bought this in HMV last week. I thought I've heard a couple of people saying about it and that, you know, it's like Roald Dahl. I'll give it a try, and I just didn't. I went into it with my expectations low because there's been that many series and that what I've been disappointed with. But I love this, guys. I'm going to get the rest of them. This is Series 8, and these are the two guys who are responsible, you know, for writing and producing it and that, you know, really made up with this. Yeah, Steve Pemberton and Reese Shearsmith's award-winning anthology. Yeah, it returns with 6 more deliciously dark tales. Or you want to see the one, if you haven't seen it, the one with the quiz show. It starts off like an ordinary quiz show and that, but oh God, does it take a dark turn, guys? Yeah, you think you're watching Pointless, you know, when you switch it on and that, you think you'd swear it was a quiz show, but oh yeah, the endings of some of these guys are quite they're quite horrific. You know, they really are. You know, some good stories, and that one with the woman on the dating site where she's looking for a male partner, that's quite creepy. Yeah. So if you haven't seen Inside Number 9, and if you've got a BBC iPlayer, all the episodes are on there. Alternatively, you can get all the the previous series now on eBay for £3 and £4. But I paid £12.99 for this because this is the latest series. Yeah. But I was really pleased with this. I really was. Inside Number 9. So I highly recommend that. I hope this is a sign that the good horror TV series are on the way back. Yeah. So 10 out of 10 to the two guys who you know, wrote this and produced it and acted in it. You know, some cracking little stories in this and that, all ordinary people and that, and ordinary settings and that, and then the horror strikes from nowhere and that, and the elements of dark comedy work well. You know, so there you go. So I can highly recommend that, guys. Inside Number 9. And I'm going to show you another movie. I'm just going back to the comments once and just show you these. Watch this the other night. Bring Out the Fear. It's basically about this couple. They're having problems and that with their relationship, and they get lost in the woods. the boyfriend has a row with paramour, illicit lover, the girl slept with a fling and that, and he has an argument. He warns them, like, stay away from his girl. So they go into this woods. It's an Irish production, and they get lost in the woods. And the woods, it doesn't really explain itself all that well, because the woods, they're kind of like supernatural. You can't get out of the woods. It's like a Groundhog Day. They're going round and round in circles and that. And but yeah, I didn't like it, guys. I loved the woods. I loved the scenery and that, the woods and that. But the story was very, very poor. It left a lot of loose ends. But if you want us to check it out, guys, you can check it out. Yeah, I got it on Amazon German at a pretty reasonable price. Yeah, Walk Into Your Nightmares, Bring Out the Fear, it's called. Yeah, so if you like your movies with creepy woods, give it a try. You might like it. But I'm going to put it on. Well, I put it on eBay now. And the last one is not a horror. It's just it stars Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, and it's See No Evil, Hear No Evil, the German version. Yeah, I've always wanted this on Blu-ray. So I picked that up and that. So I'm looking forward to revisiting that. So they're the three, guys. I'm going to be doing an update video very soon, because I've got loads more I'd like to show you. So stay tuned for that. So, but that Inside Number 9 is a cracking series. I definitely recommend you check that out if you like, series like Tales of the Unexpected and that, and Brian Clements' thriller. Yeah, some cracking little stories in that. Okay, guys, back to the comments. Richard Brown is asking me favorite TV horror series. Oh, I've got a few. I like Tales from the Crypt, Brian Clements' thriller. As I just mentioned, Tales from the Dark Side had some quite horrific moments in it. I like the Night Gallery's okay, Rod Serling, but there's a couple of turkeys and that. So I wouldn't really class it as one of my number ones. It's okay, but not really one of my number one all-time favorite TV shows. I prefer the Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's other horror TV series and that, but there's another good little horror series. I think they only made about 7 or 8 episodes. It's called Chillers. I think it was made in 1985, and there's one story in there with Nigel Havers in it. It's very good. So I'm just trying to think of the other horror series. Yeah, as I say, Tales from the Crypt. I wasn't too keen on Tales from the Dark Side. I thought there was a lot of turkeys and that, but I did love the theme music, the opening theme music, and that, the way it was introduced and that, very, very creepy. But unfortunately, there was too many good episodes in that for my liking, yeah, which is a shame, and that, because they have some pretty good ideas for that Tales from the Dark Side, series, yeah. So, but yeah, I love Brian Clements' thriller from the early 70s and that, some pretty horrific episodes and that. I've talked about them before. The one with Diana Dawes in there, So Make It Better. That's really creepy, that. And the one with Donna Mills, where she buys a haunted car, this big white Rolls Royce, and it's haunted and that. So I just hope, if any boutique labels are watching this video, if you could get that thriller series out on Blu-ray with loads of features, I'd be first in the queue for that. Yeah, I've got the original DVD, but it hasn't really got all that many features and that on that. I did want the imprint one, the Australian one, because I believe Brian Clements appears at the beginning of every episode and talks about the episodes and how he wrote it and that. So I want that imprint one. Very hard to get now. But but this Inside Number 9 promises to be a contender to enter my all-time favorite top 10 horror TV series. Yeah, very, very, from what I've watched so far anyway, I've been very pleased with it. Gothic Rose 82. Mary Whitehouse wanted to ban films back in the day without even seeing them. Oh, I remember. Yeah, she was a much hated figure, Mary Whitehouse, wasn't she? Yeah, she was always on saying about morals and that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember her well. I suppose some of the things she wanted to ban did go a little bit over the top, but then again, there was some things that didn't really need to be banned, Gina's saying, I love autumn too. Good on you, Gina, especially Halloween. I was going to say Halloween. Yeah. It's very, very synonymous, isn't it, with autumn, October. Yeah, Halloween. Yeah, watch all my Halloween movies, Michael Myers and that. Yeah, and I love Halloween. Yeah. Just shut the door now there, guys. Yeah, my mum's just got the DVD on. She's watching A Star Is Born, the musical, with Judy Garland in. Yeah, so she loves that movie. Am I Dead? Yes. Have you seen In the Company of Wolves, Alan, and everyone? I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it. And what did you think of it? Excuse me. If you have quite a different way, yeah, I didn't like it. Yeah, so I haven't really got much to say on that, unfortunately. Richard saying Richard Brown, Company of Wolves is great. Well, I do know it has its fans, yeah. I suppose it's one of these Marmite movies, guys, isn't it? You know, you either like it or you loathe it, but it wasn't for me. Yeah, I didn't like it. Robert Turner, When a Stranger Calls Back from 1993 is worth seeing. I did have, about 2 years ago, I bought the, was it Second Sight? They brought out a special edition of When a Stranger Calls and When a Stranger Calls Back. I don't remember too much about When a Stranger Calls Back, but I do remember not liking When a Stranger Calls. It was sort of like it went a bit slow in you know, around about the middle of the movie. It started off good in that, the good premise and that, you know, the sort of like he was in the attic all the time, wasn't he? Inside the house, yeah. But yeah, it was I was very disappointed. Like it got very, very slow for me. Yeah, so there you go. Miserable old Gis is saying, anyone recall a show, Terror? Picked it up, network sale. It does ring a bell, that Terror. I tell you what's a good horror TV series, Tales of Unease. That was shown in around about 1970. That's a great one. That again, that's network. There's not all that many stories on it, but I like the one with some of the ones that stand out are the one the hitchhiker, the ghostly hitchhiker, which I think was Susan George. I think it was Susan George, yeah. And then the one with Tessa Wise and her husband, where they go looking at this house. They're going to buy this house. I think it's in London, and there's something weird in the house and that, you know. They're the two episodes that really stand out for me. Tales of Unease, yeah. So yeah, if you haven't seen Tales of Unease, guys, I highly recommend that as a good, you know, good horror TV series to check out. Richard Brown, sorry guys, the comments are playing up again. Richard Brown, they are part of the League of Gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. Come to think of it, they are, yeah. Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton. Yeah, I don't really know too much about them, Richard, but yeah, I do believe you're right. Yeah, they are part of the League of Gentlemen, but they've done a great job with that Inside Number 9. I was pleasantly surprised, actually. You know, so it's gave me an appetite now to get more of the DVDs and watch them. I'll do a full review of them once I've got all the DVDs. Brian Gilson to Am I Dead Yet? Company of Wolves is a good film. Yeah, that's fair enough. As I say, you know, I do know a lot of people like it. One of those Marmites. Brian to Miserable Old Git. Langoliers is a really good Stephen King film. Isn't that the one with the airplane? Doesn't it get stuck in time or something? The Langoliers, yeah. It's in his book, his book of 4 novellas, 4 Past Midnight. Kevin's saying Kolchak is my favourite horror TV show, and Karloff's Thriller, superb. Yeah, I did have them. I did actually get them for Christmas, but I again, there's a few dud stories in them, so I let them go. Although I was a bit reluctant to let Boris Karloff go because, you know, we used to like him coming on at the beginning, talking about introducing each episode and that. But there's that many duds in it, you know. I decided to let it go. And Kolchak, oh god, I didn't like that at all. You know, the only thing I liked about Kolchak was the very first movie where he goes after the vampire. But I got to see it, say, for Christmas, gave it a try, and I was sorely disappointed. Yeah, unfortunately, so I let that go. It's one of those things. Yeah, you got to try these shows out, haven't you? Am I Dead Yet to Brian Gilson? Yeah, I found it quite enchanting and different. Good cast too. Angela Lansbury, David Warren, Stephen Rea, Brian Glover, right? Miserable Git saying, Tales from the Crypt, got the DVD, Region 1, now have the Blu-ray for Region 3 player. Yeah, I presume you're talking about the is it the HBO TV series with the cat and puppets? I love that. I've got all of them. Yeah, I love the movie as well from 1972 with Joan Collins. Based on the old EC comics of the 1950s. Kevin's saying the League of Gentlemen guys are big horror fans. Yeah, I can imagine for them to do to motivate them to do that series Inside Number 9. I should imagine they are big horror fans. Very well done, some of those episodes. I love the twists in them. Oh, that one with the quiz show. Oh my days, that's got a cracking ending. That. Yeah, really. Just like I like the way it starts off very normal and that, because that's the way horror works best sometimes, guys. It starts off normal in a normal setting. James Avis had a good knack of doing that, creating everyday settings and putting the ordinary people in, and then the horror starts, it kicks in. Stephen King does that well. Ordinary people in that. Ordinary day. Some of your worst horror, some of your worst ghosts appear during the sun. Yeah. Nothing to do with the hatred of the sun, but I'm just saying you don't always find ghosts in late at night in graveyards or crumbling castles, do you? Some of the worst horror can occur in the daylight. Yeah. Richard Brown is saying, you forgot Hammer House. Oh, God. Oh, how could I forget Hammer House of Horror and Beast? Of course, yeah. It's this, when you're on the spot like this, it's like being on a quiz show. You can't remember every little thing. But, yeah, thanks for reminding me, Richard. Hammer House of Horror, number 1. Beasts, well, let's say, again, another number 1 series, Oh, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, sometimes I go a bit blank in that. I think it's this bloody heat, It's beginning to get to my brain now. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to go on about it. But yeah, you're right. Hammer House of Horror, yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I love that. I could watch that all the time. I love those episodes, especially the Two Faces of Evil with the doppelganger. And as you know, I love my doppelganger stories, and that's a fantastic one. That the way the husband becomes an evil doppelganger, yeah, and the one with Peter Cushing where he's an ex-Nazi, he's a proprietor, isn't he, the pet shop, and that fantastic episode of Peter Cushing's really evil in that, isn't he? Yeah, when he said the immortal words, I was not the captive, I was the captor. Make your blood run cold. Yeah, but oh yeah, love me Hammer House of Horror. Thanks for reminding me. Robert Turner, do you remember a short-lived American anthology series called The Dark Room in 1981? I do. James Coburn, and I want that on DVD. I don't remember any of the episodes, but I always recall it being on when I used to come in, after being out, it would be on late at night. So I hope they release that on a DVD, The Dark Room. I'd love to revisit that. There's another horror series as well, guys, I'd like to get. I don't think I've actually seen it on British TV, The Hitchhiker. Have you guys seen that one? The Hitchhiker, yeah. I'll have to watch out for that one. Oh, and I've said this before, I've got to say it again. There's one particular, we're getting back to Hammer again. There's one particular series I would absolutely love to see released on a DVD or better still Blu-ray, and that is Journey to the Unknown. Any of you guys seen that? From late 60s, early 70s, yeah? Oh, yeah, love Journey to the Unknown. Hour-long episodes, and very much in the tradition of Brian Clemens' thriller. Had great cast, guest stars, Carol Lindley, Dennis Waterman, and it all do great little stories, them. Always started off, always used to freak me out, the creepy fairground and that, and it had this, whistling music and that, and it'd show you the fairground and that, there's nobody in the fairground and that. There's one particular one as well, where this woman was locked in the library in the dead of night, and that's another great one. So if there's any boutique labels watching this video, get that out on DVD or Blu-ray. Journey to the Unknown, Hammer TV series, very underrated series in my opinion. I didn't like that Hammer House of Mystery and Suspense, guys. That was made after the Hammer House of Horror. I bought that and I didn't like that at all. I thought it was awful. It really was. There's hardly any horror in it, and the stories are very weak. So I flagged that on eBay. But oh yeah, Journey to the Unknown. I just hope the day comes when that's released on a DVD or Blu-ray. You never know. Fingers crossed. Right. Simon Film Fan is saying, if they censor French Connection, it will be Dirty Harry next. That bloody swine. They better not touch Dirty Harry. They won't make my day. Sorry, guys, I couldn't resist that. Slippery slope. It is a slippery slope, but it's a bloody dangerous slope as well. I don't know about they're not all the normal people, these executives. Surely there must be normal, sensible people in these companies and say, enough is enough. Leave our movies alone and stop butchering them. You know, there's something missing up here for them to do that. You know, there really is. That's all I've got to say. They've got nothing better to do. Some people lead very sad lives, you know, they really do. The most trivial things, you know, winds them up, gets the ghost, you know, and all I can say is if you're like that, well, you're a very, very sad person, you know. Brian Gilson, it does have a unique atmosphere and the special effects are amazing, right? Miserable old Gis. Mrs. White moaning about Till Death Us Do Part gave show more ratings, right? Oh, yeah, Alf Garnett. Yeah, I used to love that. You silly moo. He was always going on about politics, wasn't he? Yeah. So. But, yeah, all the old classic TV series, yeah. They don't make them like that anymore, do they? I was watching a good one the other night about Dick Emery. You know, he was very good in that, you know. Yeah, he used to do that woman. Oh, you are awful, but I like you. And he pushed the fella like that. And he played the yob. And he used to say, Dad, I think I've got it wrong again. Oh, he used to have me in stitches and that. And he used to play the vicar with the teeth and that, you know. He'd drink a cup of tea and that. And he was good, yeah. He was good, Dick Emery. He used to like Dick Emery, yeah. Gothic Rose 82 is saying, did you ever see Ghostwatch on BBC One? Yeah, I've seen it a few times, yeah. In the 90s, it was shown on Halloween night and was supposed to be real, but it was a spoof, yeah. I thought it was a bit of a cop-out that, you know, trying to sort of like convince people like it was real, it was a bloody spoof. A lot of people believe that happened and that, where Parkinson's in the studio and that he seems to get possessed, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember Ghostwatch well. I bought the Blu-ray of it and that, but I let it go. You know, I didn't want to watch any more of it and that. It was just a one only watch for me, guys, and that, you know, wasn't really a big fan of that Ghostwatch, although it did have its creepy moments and that, but you know, anything that's contrived or fake, I'm not really a big fan of. And a lot of these TV ghost shows are faked in that, you know, where they go into this haunted house and that. The minute they go in there, oh, did you hear that? Oh, he had a moan, he had a cry, you know, just as if right away when you go into a place and that. And some of them even say, like, any minute now we're going to hear a sound. And then you might, about a couple of seconds might go and you might hear a little bang. And they are, what did I tell you? There's a sound in the corridor. It came from the corridor, and you might get somebody saying, no, it came from upstairs. No, it came from the corridor. And you get these little arguments going on and that, you know. And when you do the Ouija board and that starts moving around and that, yeah, probably get pushed, you know. But yeah, I'm not really a great fan of fakery with these, you know, paranormal shows. You know, I don't think they should do that. And there's a lot of fakery going on with some of the ordinary shows as well. I won't mention any shows, but I've read there's a lot of fakery going on. You think it's real, but you know, don't always believe everything what you see, guys. And some of these TV shows, because they are apt to be a little bit disingenuous, shall we say? Hate anything like that falseness. Right. Stack Hoffman. Hi, Alan. One of my favorites was One Step Beyond, early 60s. Yeah, not a bad series. Yeah, One Step Beyond. Yeah, supposed to be based on true, loosely based on true stories, weren't they? Miserable old Giz is saying one more from Network Chiller. I don't recall. It's a good one. You want to check it out? Yeah, it's very good. Right, Am I Dead Yet is saying, have you seen that horror film, Funny Man, the one with Christopher Lee? Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought it was a load of rubbish. Christopher Lee has a small role in it. Very strange, what I recall. Oh, it's terrible. It's one of Christopher Lee's worst movies ever, Funny Man. Yeah, very, very disappointed with that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that at all, Funny Man. The bloody jester thing and that, yeah. God, I don't know what he was doing in that, you know. Easy money for him, most probably. Oh, terrible movie, terrible. One of his worst, like The Whip and the Body. That's another. I don't often say, guys, about a bad Christopher Lee movie, but in this particular case, I have to say that one, funny man, and also The Whip in the Body, which was awful. It dragged. Oh my days, did that drag, The Whip in the Body? Oh God, awful movie. Yeah. So there you go. Right. Miserable gets saying. Sorry guys, the comments are going out of sync here. Miserable Guess is saying Dark Room rings a bell. Yeah, that was the one with James Coburn in. I think it was only on half an hour. Yeah, different horror story each week. Well, I'll tell you what's another good series, guys. Well, there were a few turkeys in it. Orson Welles' Greatest Mysteries. He only made 2 around about 1974, and he used to come on like The Man in Black. He used to come on smoking a cigar, and he had a black hat on, he had a black cloak, and he'd sit and he'd tell a horror story each week. And that you got like big names in it, like Peter Cushing, you know, made an appearance in one of them and that. But yeah, you can get the two series now on Amazon or indeed eBay. Yeah, Orson Welles' Great Mysteries, they're called. Only made 2 series and that. But as I say, there was a couple of turkeys in them. They did a good one of The Monkey's Paw, by the way. Any of you guys familiar with that, where they have the son, he dies. I think he gets crushed at printing that in a printing press or something, and he wishes him back. They got this monkey's paw, and he can have 3 wishes. But of course, as always happens with horror movies, things don't go quite the way they planned. And when each time they make a wish, something bad happens. So, for instance, like they wish the son back. He comes back all right, but he comes back one night and he knocks on the bangs on the door. It's real creepy, but apparently he's mangled. He's come back, but he's exactly the way he was when he got crushed by the printing press. But you don't actually see, opening the door, something like that'd be too horrific, I think. But yeah, they do a good rendition of that, The Monkey's Paw. So yeah, so check that out. Orson Welles' Greatest Mysteries. I think you might like it, apart from the few turkeys. A Terribly Strange Bed. That's another good one in that series. It's a Terribly Strange Bed. Yeah, where the fella, I think he wins money or something in a casino, French casino. He goes to this hotel, and this bed is 4-poster bed, and it's slowly comes down, gonna crush him to death, and he jumps out in the nick of time. Yeah, it was creepy, that one. A Terribly Strange Bed, it's called. So yeah, so check that out. That Orson Welles' Greatest Mysteries. And Gina, there's a doppelganger episode in Kolchak. Yeah, it's a forgettable one, Gina. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it at all. No. Thought there was a lot of talk in it and that, and he's coming out with a lot of wisecracks and that, it's a bit comedic for my liking, So yeah, I let that one go. Right, Slack saying Hammer House of Horror, the Corazon Society with the scrying glass. Yeah, good one. Can't remember the episode name. Yeah. What's the episode of that? Is that the one with John Carson in, where he's a high priest? Sure, that's the one with John Carson in. I can't remember the title of that one, but I know the one you mean. My cat wants to say hello. Say hello. Oh, he's buggered off. Yeah, Lucky, you want to say hello to the ladies and gentlemen? Right. You don't get no transgender nonsense with me, guys, like some of the airlines have stopped saying ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen should always stay. That's another bloody stupid thing. Some of the airlines, they won't let the crew say good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All the stupid inclusivity. I don't want to get too political, but I think it's bloody mad. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen has been used for centuries, and anybody who has any objections about ladies and addressing the passengers, ladies and gentlemen, we want the bloody heads testing. Am I Dead? Yes. To Brian Gilson. Yes, that's the one. Weird Innes. Brian Gilson, Am I Dead Yet? It is a really weird film. Richard Brown, you should start your own Blu-ray company, Alan. What films would you bring out? Horror ones. Very much in the tradition of Hammer, Amicus, Universal. Yeah, because they're my 3 favourite companies. Yeah, I grew up with all those classics, you know, the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, you know, classics. Yeah. So if I started a company, I would make sure before anything was released onto the cinema going public that or TV viewing audiences, that the story was, you know, that it had no faults in it at all. You know, I'd make sure when anybody watched one of my horror stories productions, they were entertained from start to finish. Yeah. That's what I try to do. Be sure when I write these stories, guys, you know, I publish a couple of short story books, and I always make sure that the story is as best as I can get it before I publish it. You know, so yeah. Anybody seen the Twilight Zone movie? I've seen it. I wasn't too keen on it. Now, the Tales from the Dark Side movie, that was another bloody turkey as well. I wasn't too keen on that, yeah. It promised so much, but delivered so little, unfortunately. Although I did like the segment with the demon on the plane. That was quite good. That earlier done, of course, by William Shatner, where he was on the airplane, and he looks out and he sees this like figure on the wing of the airplane. That's a great one, that. Richard Brown, Derek Acora. Oh, Derek and Corey. No, Derek Acora. Yeah, yeah. He's no longer with us, is he? He's nowhere. He passed away. Yeah, yeah. He was always in Most Haunted, wasn't he? And that, and he had his own show, didn't he? Derek Acora's Ghost Towns. Yeah, I remember him well. From my neck of the woods, Merseyside. Robert Turner, Dark Room was released on DVD. Oh, was it? In 2011. I'll have to hunt that down on eBay. Presumably in America. Might be quite hard to get that now. Thanks for that, Robert. I'll try and check that out. See if I can get myself a copy. Dark Room. It's I don't remember too much about it, but I do remember James Coburn hosted it. Another good series, guys. I like. It's more like a thriller, you know. But there are elements of horror in some of the stories. Alfred Hitchcock Presents, you know, his famous series from the late 50s, early 60s, and I loved that. I've got the big box set of that. And he comes on, of course, Alfred Hitchcock at the beginning of each one, and he has like a little comedic scene in that, you know, where he might have a prop on that, and he might do a funny sketch in that, which leads into the story. You know, he bookends it actually, because he comes on at the end most of the time as well. So, oh yeah, I love Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred, I can't even speak. I haven't even had a glass of orange. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Fantastic. I believe they made some more as well in the 80s in colour. So I'll have to check those out. Miserable will get Christopher Lee, heavy metal, great singer, sending himself up, great guy. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah. He was fantastic, Christopher Lee. One of the greatest actors ever, not just in horror movies, but all round. You know, he could take any part, you know, Scaramanga. And The Man with the Golden Gun is one of my favourite Christopher Lee non-horror roles. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fantastic actor. He had a very, very good screen presence, didn't he? You know, he's commanding, his deep baritone voice and that. He could be very, very serious. And it could be very wry as well sometimes, you know. He could be very sarcastic and that, you know. But when he played Dracula, oh, God, need I say more? When I first saw him standing at the top of the stair in that first Dracula movie, when he came and he stood at the top of the stairs in Castle Dracula, wow. All I can say is wow. I'm going to sound like that song, aren't I? What is it? All I can say is wow. If they could see me now, yeah, that came to mind. I thought, all I can say is wow. Yeah, and then it occurred to me, if they could see me now, yeah, these song lines just like come out in your speech, don't they? You know, like I'm so excited and I just can't hide this. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Christopher Lee. Yeah. Miserable Old Git. Monkey's Paw is a great story. A very creepy story as well. It put anybody off wanting 3 wishes when an object. They did a good version of that in the 1972 Tales from the Crypt, the one with Richard Green in, where he was heavily in debt. And he had like an object, was like an idol. I think it was some sort of like idol, and his wife said, you know, again, 3 wishes was associated with it. And his wife said, you remember the story of the monkey's paw, but of course he takes no notice in that, you know. But the ending in that, guys, oh God, it is one of the most horrific endings in a portmanteau segment I have ever seen in my whole life. It really is. You want to check it out, that one with Richard Green in, where he makes 3 wishes and that, oh God, it's horrific. It really is horrific. Not suitable for people of a nervous disposition. And I can imagine anybody watching that at a very young age would be scared out their wits watching that. Oh God, what an ending. Really packed a punch. Right, Richard Brown says, A Terribly Strange Bed was by Wilkie Collins, I think, great writer. He wrote The Woman in White, didn't he, Wilkie Collins? Yeah, that big chunky novel, The Woman in White. I haven't read it, but I have seen it on Waterstones on the shelves, yeah. I didn't know Wilkie Collins wrote that one, Terribly Strange Bed. Yeah, it's a good one, that. Gene is saying of that episode with John Carson in The Scrying Glass, The Guardian of the Abyss. That's the one. That's a great one, that. The Guardian of the Abyss. Yeah, I love that one. Richard Brown, what's a Guardian of the Abyss with John Carson? That's the one, John Carson. He was a great actor as well, John Carson. He appeared in a couple of Hammer films, Plague of the Zombies, Taste of Blood of Dracula. Oh yeah, he's a fine actor, John Carson. He's been in The Saints as well, Roger Moore. Miserable, get the lunatics have taken over the asylum. Oh, what you mean, the woke mob trying to ban everything? I totally agree with you. They have. Not getting any better either, is it? Bloody swines. Well, you think they have better things to do? Ban things you should ban, like the bloody knives and that, Ridiculous. Walk on, always believe. Watch it, Alan. Hope you are well. I'm not too bad, thanks. Hope you are too. Thanks for stopping by. Always nice to chat to you. Walk on, always believe, says again. Sorry for being late. Oh, it's okay. No worries, mate. I was eating my grub and hugging my dogs. I quite understand. Yeah, quite understand. Yeah, good to see you anyway, as I say. Slack saying Amicus and Now the Screaming Starts, 1973. Yeah, a bit slow, but still a great story. Yeah, it is a bit slow, that one. Not a bad story though, not a bad story, but yeah, it is a bit slow in parts, I must admit. Talking of Richard Green, Robin Hood is on Talking Pictures. Robin Hood riding through the Glen. I used to watch that. That was a big staple of me when I was growing up in the late 60s. I used to watch that on our little old black and white TV. Yeah, Richard Green, Robin Hood. Yeah. Miserable Old Giss is saying, Alan, sorry guys, just adjusting the screen here. Alan, guys, great chat. Take care as the heat wave is coming. Oh, God, no. Staying in. Good luck if you are Blu-ray hunting, TC Steve. Oh, thanks very much, Steve. Yeah. Oh, God, bloody heat waves. I had enough of heat waves this week. I hate them. Bloody hell. That's to stockpile all the ice lollies and the cold drinks. As I say, these presenters, most of all, annoy me the way they rave. They seem to assume, I don't want to go on so much about it, guys, because I've said enough. I've got to say it again. They always seem to be, even on TV, these weather forecasts and newsreaders. Oh, good news. It's going to be a hot day tomorrow. Everybody's made up. No, not everybody is not everybody's made up. There's a lot of people out there that don't bloody like the hot weather, and I think, to be honest, I think they go a little bit too mad on it, if you ask me. That's just my opinion. As an awesome winter lover, that is just my opinion. I'm just saying, in my opinion, summer, they go a bit too mad on it, and have you forgotten about the global warming? Have you forgotten about that? Say no more. It's all right, get barbecues and that, and lying in the sun and that, and getting a suntan. You don't know what this is boding, really. I don't want to get too morbid, but yeah, it's not a very comforting, prospect. Right, moving on. Am I dead yet? Thing is, the woke mob are mostly teenagers and folk in their early 20s that are spoiled brats who've grown up in the PC era. Yeah, well, you want to bloody learn some bloody sense. The likes of them that's got the country the way it is, and even the world, some parts of the world, you just don't have that nonsense and that. There's always that danger that can spread. They want to get a life. They really do. I bet some of them don't even know who Elvis Presley was. Yeah. don't read books and that. They don't read books. You don't know anything, do they? Slack off, man. I used to like the Zorro series on TV in the 70s. I vaguely remember that. Didn't Catherine Zeta-Jones make a movie, Zorro? Not a great fan of that. I'm not really a great fan of period pieces. You know, I like the only period pieces I really like are the Hammer films. You know, Dracula, Frankenstein. You know, Curse of the Werewolf. Not really a great fan. Pirate movies bore me. Oh God, don't even get me started on swashbuckling movies. Oh, within the matter of space of 10 minutes, I'm snoring my head off. You know, all those old swashbuckling Errol Flynn, Three Musketeers, and oh no, they're not for me. That's why I haven't bought those new Musketeer movies that's come out, even though they've got Christopher Lee in. I haven't bought them because I know within minutes I'd be snoring my head off. I'd be that bored with them, you know. So yeah, I'm not a great fan of period pieces. Richard Brown, is that why you didn't like Night of the Big Heat then, Alan? Well, I wouldn't really say that, you know, Richard. I wouldn't really say that. No, it's always been right from when I was a kid. I didn't like the hot weather, you know, having to go to school and sit in a hot, sweaty classroom and that, you know, saying working in an office and that, you know, it was the ventilation was very poor. You know, I think it's overrated. You know, it really is. You know, it's all right if one's like it, that's fine. You know, I'm not saying stop liking summer, stop liking heat. I'm just saying my opinion of it, you know, how I feel. It makes me ill. And I feel sorry for these people that suffer from hay fever. They must be going through hell at the moment and that, you know. Yeah, it's just, I just don't, you know, bugs as well, you know, bugs everywhere. You know, when it's really hot, you don't like going out. You're just sitting in the house and that, you know, with the fan right up to your face and that. Oh, no, it's not for me. I hate it, really hate it. But no, it's not to do with Night of the Big East. Slack saying Hammer, the Gorgon. Yeah, good film. Yeah, scared me witless when I first saw her face when I was a kid. Watched it on the old black and white TV. Yeah, love the Gorgon. Walk on always believes says, glad you're well. I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Glad to hear you're okay, mate. By the way, those ghost books are taking a long time to come. Yeah, I haven't received them yet. Walk on, always believe. I saw Vigilante last night on Blu-ray. Good movie on 88 Films. Yeah, that's the one I've got with the great Fred Williamson. The film was decent. 6.5 out of 10. I actually agree with Vigilantes, yeah. Because the justice system is pathetic and just wrong. Yeah, if we had more vigilantes on the streets, it might be probably be less crime. You know, Charles Bronson, Death Wish. I know you shouldn't take the law into their own hands. I don't want to get all political, but boy, I believe when people in a cinema first watched Charlie Bronson in that classic Death Wish, they cheered and clapped when he, got stuck into the baddies, you know. Well, who could blame them? You know, what happened in that movie and that, you know, and again, Death Wish 2 was even more brutal than Death Wish 1, you know, so you could sympathize with Charles Bronson's character in that, you know, Paul Casey, I think his name was, and the same with Dirty Harry when he went after the Zodiac Killer in the first. He was a right lunatic. Him, wasn't he? That bloody Scorpio, not the Zodiac Killer. Scorpio, wasn't it? Scorpio, that was the killer. Yeah, Scorpio. Yeah, when he's on the bus and row the boat gently downstream. Yeah, that's a great one. That. Well, I love all the Dirty Harry movies. You know, they're my favorite Clint Eastwood movies, alongside the spaghetti westerns. You know, so yeah, Dirty Harry and the spaghetti westerns are my favorites. I wasn't too keen on the comedy ones he made with the orangutan. Yeah, I got them on Blu-ray again. I gave them another watch. I didn't like them. No, it was most of the time he was fighting bare knuckle fighting and that. You know, oh no, I didn't like them at all, guys. And that first one made millions, didn't it? Every Which Way But Loose at the box office. So, oh yeah, I didn't like them. I didn't like either. But they have got that. Well, obviously, I've got the fans to make that much money. Richard Brown, Death Wish, Dirty Harry, great films. You said it, yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree with you. Agree with you there, Richard. Am I Dead Yet? Taxi Driver. Two good vigilante films. That's the one with De Niro in. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that. Although, again, I know it does have its fans, but it wasn't for me. No. Richard Brown, Grace ending to Taxi Driver, very gory, right? Oh. That's all I've been doing, guys, since this bloody hot weather's been holding sway. Bottles of water. Walk on Always Believe is saying, I hope you get the ghost books on. Yeah, it's taking ages to come. I don't know what's gone wrong there. There's 5 books in total. I think they are to do with true UFO ghost stories and mysteries. Did you send them by recorded delivery? Because if they sent them by recorded delivery, surely would have got them by now. It's been 5 months, isn't it? I don't know what's gone wrong there. Have you got me correct address? Should have well had them by now, shouldn't I? Don't know what's gone wrong there. Am I Dead Yet? Magnum Force is a good sequel. Yeah, definitely. That folks seem to forget. Not sure if it's good as first, though. I love them all. Yeah, I love every single Dirty Harry movie. I've got the box set of them. I think they're fantastic movies. And there's only one person who could play that role, and that's Clint Eastwood. Yeah, he did a fantastic job. Another one of my favourite Clint Eastwood movies, guys, is Gran Torino. Obviously, he's much older than that one, but I love Gran Torino. Great one. He's made so many, though, hasn't he, guys? Great movies. I'm actually reading his biography at the moment. It's very good, yeah. How he got started and that, in the business and that with it when he went to Rawhide and that. It was very, very interesting. Yeah, good read. Richard Brown saying, favourite UFO films, if any. Now, to tell you the truth, I'm not really a huge lover of science fiction. There's only a few science fiction ones I really like, and Alien, Day of the Triffids. I like Children of the Damned. That's a good one. Not really a great fan of the Star Trek movies, but I think Alien's my favourite sci-fi movie. UFO film. I wasn't a big fan of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That bored me senseless. That really did. But again, I know it was a big box office hit, but yeah, I couldn't get into that. I'm just trying to think of any other. Invaders from Mars wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Earth versus the Flying Saucers wasn't bad, but as I say, I'm not really a great lover of UFO sci-fi movies, but I do like the creature feature movies and that. One good creature feature movie I can recommend, guys, is I think it was made around about 1961 or 62. The Horror at Party Beach. That's a great one. That, yeah, it's a kind of a musical as well. Like you've got like the people on the beach dancing and that, and you've got these monsters and that. So it's like invading the resort and that. It's in black and white, so I'd highly recommend that one. Yeah, The Horror at Party Beach. It's a good one. Jamie's here. Yeah, okay, Jamie. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you've had a good week. Good evening, Alan. Hope you're well. How was your day? Not too bad, thanks, Jamie. Yeah, hope you've had a good day. Yeah. Been getting a couple of films and that, so I'll be doing it. I might do it over the weekend, actually. Pickups video and that, showing all what I picked up and that. Yeah. Nice to see you. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Richard Brown, have you seen The Abyss? It rings a bell. I might have seen it years ago, or seen trailers of it. I can't remember exactly what happens in it, but it does ring a bell, The Abyss, yeah. Oh, has anybody seen the Descent movies? I liked the first one. I wasn't too keen on the second one. I thought the second one was I think the plot was a bit weak on that, yeah. But I love the first one, even though it is quite dark for most of the movie. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the first Descents. Patrick's saying, hi Alan, you okay, Patrick, mate? Thanks for stopping by. I bought the new Eureka Blu-ray Creeping Horror. It has 4 films from the 1930s and 40s, including Murders in the Zoo. 1933, very good double disc. I bought that one, yeah. Again, I wasn't too I have to say this, I wasn't too keen on the movies, I didn't think they were very good, so I let that one go, yeah. But I wasn't too keen on that one. Sorry guys, the comments just jumped here. It kept saying it came from outer space, yeah. I just celebrated 70th birthday. That's not a bad one, that. Yeah, I like that one. Right, Walk On Always Believe. I originally sent them months back. Yeah, got it. It is a while, isn't it, since you sent those books? Then they got sent back to me. Then I went to the post office complaining, saying these books are for my friend. They apologized and then resent them for, I don't know what's happened there. I really don't, It's a big mystery, that. They might turn up maybe, fingers crossed before the end of the year, so we live in hope, yeah. Michael's Movie Corner. You okay, Mike? Thanks for stopping by, mate. Of course, as soon as I join, I hear Star Trek. I must have a sixth sense for it. Oh, you're a big Star Trek fan, then? Yeah. I used to like the TV series in the '60s starring William Shatner, but I'm not really. I couldn't really get into the movies for some reason, But I do love the original series and that. I'm not a big fan of the Patrick Stewart series. I couldn't really get into that. But my favourite is the original one. With Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner. Some good stories in them. And the characters were very good as well. William Shatner, he was fantastic in the role as Captain Kirk, and DeForest Kelly, Dr. McCoy, all great characters in that series, yeah. Some good monsters as well. Am I Dead Yet? It says Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. You like that? Oh God! Do you know what? I done a video a couple of months ago saying I done a few actually, my most boring movies, and that was in that movie. I'm sure it was my number one most boring movie. It's either number one or number two. That was in the list. My mum went to see that when it first came out, and that she had all the hype about it. Oh God, she was bored sick. Oh God, yeah. And when I watched it, I said to her, "I see what you mean. It's a terrible movie, this, so boring. It actually gave me a bloody headache. Yeah, that's how boring I found it." But having said that, I do know there are some people that like it for some reason. I can't fathom out what the reason, unless they like to see all them floating around in space and that, and the music and that. But there was no monsters in it. There's nothing like Alien. Nothing happened in it. So I don't really see why some people do like it. But oh God, yeah. Hated it, absolutely hated it. Yeah, I think it must be, on reflection, I think it must be the most boring movie I have ever seen in my life. Yeah, and that's saying something, because I've seen many, many boring movies. I've had many rants about. Well, if you've been following me, guys, you'll know when I go into a rant about a movie, I go into a rant. I'm very, very forthright, very vehement. And I don't pull any punches, when I start, ranting about a movie. On the flip side of the coin, when I love a movie, I can't stop praising it, So, I really get into my movies when I'm describing them, and I like to put over, express exactly how I feel about them and that. And unfortunately, that one, 2001: A Space Odyssey, was definitely not one of my favorite movies, to say the least. MG saying, "Hi, mate. Okay, thanks for stopping by." Sorry, it's gone off. Hang on, guys. It's comments have jumped here. Sorry if I've missed anybody out, by the way. It's just that the comments keep, they keep going upwards. Oh, misses. Right. I'm up to Brian now. I love the film, Them About Giant Ants. Them. I've got that one. I got that, the HMV, the one with the silver slip covers, the classic range. I've got them. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. It's a great one, that. The Giant Ants, yeah. I've got to tell you another creature feature movie we've got, guys, on Blu-ray. I haven't watched it yet. The James Herbert novel, The Rats. They made a movie called Deadly Eyes. I got it from Amazon Germany. I haven't watched it yet. So that's the movie where when James went over, to give advice on the movie when it was made. I think it was around about, was it 1982? I think it was about 1982 or 83. And he laughed because he said, like, when the special effects, when he was showing the rats what they were little dashings with rats fur over them and that, and he said they were running around the set barking, yeah. So I always remember James Herbert saying that. But yes, I'm going to be watching that. I might watch that over the weekend, actually. There's quite a few movies built up there where I've got to get through. So yeah. I think it's the book saga again, the missing books. I also put a note in apologising about them taking so long, then posting them back to me. And yes, I'm sure it's the right address. So, well, yeah. Well, they should have got them by now, shouldn't I? Because I sent you those films a while back. Yeah. Well, you never know. They might turn up. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah. It's a bloody nuisance that when things disappear in the post, Richard's saying them is fantastic. Indeed, it is. Yeah, love them. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin. Oh, I love them. Classic. Yeah, definitely. MG. Hi, mate. I'm waiting for Pearl to be released on Blu-ray on the 19th of June. Oh, yeah, I believe it's coming out on the 19th, isn't it? Yeah. Are you going to watch it as you hated the first movie, X? Yeah, I did. Also, a third one is being made called Maxine. Yeah, I probably will check out Pearl. I am. It's funny, you know, guys, because sorry, just get myself comfortable here. It's funny, guys, because when I've been into HMV a couple of times, and they've had the Blu-ray of X on the counter for $2.99, and I've been very, very tempted to pick it up and give it another rewatch, you know, and because like as when I was watching it and that, you know, say I didn't think too much of it, but sometimes if I watch a film, it doesn't happen very often, you know, I must stress that, but sometimes when I watch a film again, I'll start to like it, you know. I could give it another rewatch and that. I mean, if I'm going to get Pearl and then the other one, what you said there, Maxine, maybe give it another go and watch Pearl and then Maxine and then form my opinion. You know, if my opinion's changed and that, if it's been coloured, you know, and then of course what I think about Pearl and what I think about Maxine. So I might just do that. It's funny. It's very tempting when you see a movie knocked right down to $1.99 and $2.99. You think, should I give it another go? You know, but yeah, it might happen. It may not. I don't know. Kevin, the Terror from Beyond Space is really good. Yeah, good one. Walk On, Always Believe. And I really am sorry, Alan. I'm actually quite peeved of that you've not received them because I sent them literally. Oh, yeah, I won't believe you. Yeah, I believe you sent them. Yeah, it's just weird that I haven't got them, you know. Richard Brown, 2001 is Cosmic Horror. Do you like Cosmic Horror, Alan? The only kind of cosmic horror I really like, Richard, is H.P. Lovecraft's cosmic horror, like The Color Out of Space. Although not the one with Nicolas Cage, which I thought was absolutely dire. I like the other one, The Curse, you know, that was made in was it the early 90s or late 80s? That was very good. The Curse, really good. That was much better movie than the Richard, the one with what's the name in Nicolas Cage. But yeah, cosmic horror. You know, I immediately associate that with the works of H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, so I don't mind a bit of cosmic horror, providing it's done well and the monsters are good. You know, like the old ones and the Lovecraft and the you know, the Lovecraft mythos. You know, the old ones are creatures like from beyond time and that. You know, yeah, very, very creepy stories they are. Another good horror movie I like, guys, H.P. Lovecraft is From Beyond. That's a good one. Yeah, very good one, that. I like Reanimator as well, Jeffrey Combs. That's based on another one based on the H.P. Lovecraft story, Reanimator. Brian Gilson, to Kevin William Wardle, It's Terror from Beyond Space is really good. It helped inspire the movie Alien, yeah. Right, Am I Dead Yet? To Richard Brown, there's a creepy computer voice called Ha, if I remember right. Okay. HAL 9000, I think. Right. Richard Brown, I've had a few books go missing lately. Yeah, let's say the post like can be very unreliable and that, you know, very unreliable, especially at Christmas time. Kevin's saying to Brian Angelson, yes, and Planet of the Vampires too. Do you know what? I want to get round to seeing that Planet of the Vampires. Yeah, believe it's a good movie, lovely shot movie, beautiful colour as well. Yeah, so I'll have to order that one or pick it up. That Planet of the Vampires. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Am I Dead Yet? Says one thing about Stanley Kubrick is most of all his films are all from different genres. Spartacus, a Roman film, 2001, a sci-fi, A Clockwork Orange is a gang one, yeah. The Shining, horror, Full Metal Jacket, war, yeah. You made a good point there, yeah. Yeah, about Stanley Kubrick. Most of his films are all from different genres. Very, very diverse range of movies, isn't he? Stanley Kubrick. Yeah, I love The Shining. Yeah, I think that's my favourite Stanley Kubrick movie, if I'm being honest. Spartacus is good. Yeah, not a big fan of A Clockwork Orange. I think I couldn't even get into the boot with all that language and that, you know. Yeah, but The Shining is my favourite one. My favourite. I love The Shining. I love the novel and I love the movie. And I even like the TV movie of The Shining that starred Rebecca De Mornay. Don't know if you guys have seen that one. I think it was made around 1997. Yeah, I love Rebecca De Mornay in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Didn't you guys? Have you seen it? Oh God, she was one creepy nanny in that. Yeah, very attractive lady in that. But oh God, can she play a villain? Ooh. Almost as menacing as Kathy Bates in Misery. Well, one of my all-time favourites movie villains, Kathy Bates as Annie Wilkes in Misery. Oh, God, she was a right fruitcake, completely off her rocker, she was. Am I dead? Yes. Kubrick was truly an exceptional director. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Richard Brown, X was quite good, not as slow as the director's other films, right? Yeah, I might give it a rewatch. I don't know, you know, with Pale coming out, but yeah, I'll see. Brian's saying to Kevin William Wardle, I enjoyed Planet of the Vampires. I can see how it's helped inspire Alien, right? Yeah, a lot of these modern movies have drawn from old stories, haven't they? You know, the original stories and that, they sort of like inspired them to remake them. And when you think about the Frankenstein story, guys, the original novel that was written by Mary Shelley, the times that's been redone, you know, not only is Frankenstein under the Frankenstein banner, but like different variations of it, you know, for instance, the Reanimator experimenting with dead bodies, you know, sort of like a stance on the Frankenstein story. And Frankenstein, if you don't know already, is my all-time favorite movie monster, because he was the monster that got me into horror. I've said it before. Boris Karloff, when I first saw Boris Karloff playing the Frankenstein monster on our old black and white telly in the late 60s, I became an instant horror fan. And the more they showed those Universal classics, the more my liking of horror grew and grew. And of course, when Christopher Lee came along and Peter Cushing, it was confirmed, you know, it became a real horror fanatic, you know. Yeah, they were the movies I grew up with, guys, all those classic monster movies. Oh, by the way, I've ordered the, I've got the Wolfman figure, the NECA Wolfman figure. I ordered just today the Frankenstein one from eBay. Got it for cheap, 30 odd quid, reduced. So that's on its way. And I'm going to get the Dracula one, the Gozy. So once I've got them, I'm going to put them all on me, this new shelf I've got with all my films and that. I'm going to put them on the shelf and that. So you'll be able to see them, guys. Yes, I know quite a few of you guys have said, when are you going to do your video showing your horror collection? Well, it's going to be done very soon. You know, it's just I had a problem. I didn't have any spare shelving. And now that I've got this extra case in, I'm going to sort of put everything in order and that, you know, and then once it's all done, I'll film the video for you. So that'll be a treat for you guys. Look forward to. So watch this space. It's coming very, very soon. I love watching, from my angle, I love watching your collections as well, guys. You know, I love watching what movies you've got and that. I love watching your pickups and that, you know, very interested in that. And any movies where I haven't seen, you know, if you recommend them, oh, yeah, I'm right there. You know, either order them off Amazon, order them off eBay, or even in HMV, pick them up in HMV, you know, or CX. But yeah, I love getting recommendations. And I love reciprocating it, you know, giving recommendations what I think are good movies to you guys. And that, I think that's part and parcel of being a YouTuber, you know, a movie collector, talking about movies and that. You know, I think it's a great, very enjoyable aspect of it, of collecting movies, you know, recommending, you know, mutual recommendation of movies. Yeah, fantastic. Walk on Always Believe. There's a guy called AJS Movie Place. AJ's Movie Place in his video today. Oh, AJ, you mean? In his video today, he said he pre-ordered something in 2022 in June. I think it's 2023 June now. And he didn't get it. Flipping heck, he's had a bit of a wait, hasn't he? Posting and stuff can be dodgy. Also with Amazon, this is it. Yeah. Yeah, it can be dodgy posting. You know, it really can. There's a lot of dishonesty as well going on in that. You know, some of these postal, you know, these dodgy characters and that dealing with the mail and that. Don't know how they get away with it. I really don't. Richard Brown, Eyes Wide Shut was quite eerie. Do you know what? I'm sure I've seen that one. Is that the one with Nicole? Is that the one with Nicole Kidman in? I'm sure I've seen that one. I don't remember too much about it though. Oh, talking of Nicole Kidman, I've ordered one of her most famous movie guys, To Die For, where she plays the the Malevolence Weather presenter. So I've ordered that on Blu-ray. So I'm looking forward to getting that. Yeah, I've got a couple of other movies on the way, and that. So once I get them, as I said before, I'll be doing a pickups video very, very soon. But yeah, I've always wanted that one on Blu-ray. To Die For. Kevin's saying, sorry guys, comments today going a bit wacky. Kevin's saying, I wasn't too keen on Dr. Sleep. No, nowhere near as good as The Shining, in my opinion. And I thought Rose the Hat, I didn't find an iota of menacing air. You know, she didn't scare me in the least little bit. All right, the part with the child, you know, it was a bit, you know, near the knuckle. But other than that, she didn't frighten me at all. She just a girl with a hat on. Sinister girl with a hat on, you know, is nowhere near as scary as the guy in The Shining and that, you know, Jack Torrance or Annie Wilkes, you know, or the Stephen King characters. Yeah, didn't frighten me at all, Dr. Sleep. And actually, the book, I found myself falling asleep, you know, reading it, you know. Yeah, it wasn't a very good sequel. But I do know some people like it. It's another one of those one of those Marmite movies, I suppose, guys. You know, you'd either like it or loathe it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Dr. Sleep at all. Right, Walk On Always Believe is saying the problem with Vigilante for me was the dark scenes and Robert Forster's character. I found him wooden. He also didn't really seem bothered about losing his kid. But Fred Williamson was great as always, right? Yeah, I quite liked him. I quite like Vigilante, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah, sometimes like a movie can have a perfect story, but it can be let down along the way by a weak character development. You know, you get it in writing, you get it in novels, you get it in short stories. You can have a good story, but if the character somebody acts like he wouldn't act in real life, it totally ruins the story. So I get where you're coming from there. Yeah, it's like it's like touching on the subject of the horror trope narrative, isn't it? Where you make stupid mistakes and that you go into this building, it's supposed to be haunted, you know, and everybody says don't go in there, and that, you know, what did you do to go in there, you know? And sometimes when one of the relatives is killed, they're not very upset, you know. It's totally you know, you're right when you say detracts from the credibility really of the story and that, you know. Yeah, so yeah, I don't like that sort of thing. I like the stories to be really gripping and above all realistic. Brian's saying, I got the Universal Classic Monster Collection and the Tingler on Blu-ray delivered today. I love the Tingler, and I love the Universal Classic. Is that the big one with every single Universal monster movie? And I presume it is the big square box. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a great one. That, yeah. The only thing with that is that's what put me off getting it. Did he piece a lot of the movies on the disc and that? Like, you've got like all the Wolfman, but then he appears in the Frankenstein one, as is the case with Dracula. You've got Bela Lugosi, Dracula, but then again, you've got John Carradine in the House of Frankenstein and the House of Dracula. So you've got the House of Frankenstein on the Frankenstein set. You've also got it on the Dracula set, you know. So I think they made a bad mistake there. But other than that, it's a lovely set. It really is, and you know, I take me hat off to anybody who's purchased that set. It's the ultimate Universal monster collection. Yeah, I've started getting them on. I've still got the old set where I got, you know, I think the very first Blu-ray set I ever bought was the Universal 8 movies, the little blue box one, the Blu-ray. I've still got that. I've still got them on DVD. But I've started collecting them on 4K now, and I was really made up on those four what they released. They released them singly as well, so I've started collecting the single one. So I just hope that this second volume of Universal Classics, there, like The Bride of Frankenstein and that, I hope they do the same with them and release them as single editions, and I'll certainly pick them up. But I'm not a great fan of I've said this before. I'm not a great fan of The Mummy And I'm not a great fan of the Phantom of the Opera, but I love the Creature from the Black Lagoon. But as I say, I'm not really a fan of Phantom of the Opera or the Mummy movies. Although I do think Boris Karloff did a great job in that first Universal Mummy movie. Tony York, hi Alan. You okay, To? Just seeing that Radiance are releasing Scream and Scream Again, 1970, I believe so. Starring Vincent Price, Chris Lee, and Peter Cushing in a special edition with plenty of extras, booklets. Oh, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? Yeah. Scream and Scream Again. Richard's saying Nicole Kidman has made some fantastic films. Yeah, she has. She used to be very beautiful, spoiled herself with the plastic surgery. Oh, she had plastic surgery, has she? Mind you, a lot of Hollywood actresses have had that, haven't they? Trying to sort of like, push back the aging process. But, they're fighting a losing battle, aren't they, guys, really? Because you can't stop age, as much as you'd like to, in the end, it shows like, yeah. So, yeah, but I do like Nicole Kidman. I think she's made some great movies. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting that on Blu-ray to die for. Am I Dead? Yes. Dead Man's Shoes, a great British vigilante film. I do have a recollection of seeing that quite a few years ago and thoroughly enjoying it. So I don't remember too much about it, but I do remember I enjoyed it. So I'll most probably visit that at some point. Yeah, good movie, very good movie. Richard says, sorry guys, the comments are going a bit wacky. Richard Brown, very brutal, Dead Man's Shoes. Yeah, definitely. I believe that Rise of the Foot Soldier's a good gangster movie, isn't it? Have you seen that, guys? The Rise of the Foot Soldier. Dr. Impossible's here. You okay, Doc? Yesterday, I ventured into the wonderful world of Warner Brothers' 1946 film, The Beast with Five Fingers. That's a good one, that. Adjacent to saw it. Yeah, Peter Lorre. The Hand. Oh, God, yeah. He had a creepy voice, didn't he, Peter Lorre? It's still a revelation to watch, yeah. Robert Flore's film has a genuine atmosphere and menace. That other Peter Lorre movie, The Hands of Orlac, have you seen that one, Doctor? I believe that's a good one. I've only seen trailers of that. The Hands of Orlac, where he gets like I think he has an accent or something, and his hands, and he gets these hands grafted on, but actually the hands of a serial killer. This is what I've learned like from people seeing it. So that might be worth checking out. The Hands of Orlac, yeah. But I do love The Beast with Five Fingers, yeah. I'd like to get that one. I'd like to add that one to me collection. He was a great actor, Peter Lorre. Am I Dead? Yes, it's brutal, but great acting and very deep, like most of Shane Meadows' films, right? Tell you what I have been watching, guys. The last 2 nights or so. The National Lampoon movies. Getting away from horror for a moment. The National Lampoon movies. I got them cheap in a HMV. Yeah, I'm not really. Can't really get into them. I don't think they're funny at all. Although I do know a lot of people like them. But I watched the very first one. Well, I watched two actually. Last night, the National Lampoon, the very first one, The Vacation, and where he goes to Vegas. But yeah, they didn't make me laugh at all. I have seen the National Lampoon's Christmas. Again, I didn't like that one. So I've still got the European Vacation to watch. But Chevy Chase, I think he was wasted in them films. I can't really, although I do like Beverly D'Angelo. Yeah, I think she's very, very easy on the eye. Yeah, but yeah, the stories, like I thought some of the premises were a bit ridiculous, to be honest, on that. But I do know the National Lampoon movies, they have got a big fan following, but I haven't been able to get into them at all. So I must probably flog her on eBay. Richard Brown saying, I've seen The Hands of Orlac with Conrad Vaidt, right? Walk On, Always Believe. There's a horror I'd like to recommend. It's also one of my favourite horrors and stars second favourite actress, Melissa George, called Triangle. I've got that one. Is that the one where they're on the ship and it's sort of like a bit like what's Groundhog Day, where it repeats over and over? Is that the one with Triangle? Very original, twist after twist. Very clever and gripping. I think that's the one. Yeah, I've got that one in my collection. Sorry, guys, my back's a bit stiff sitting upright in the chair. Oh. I think we'll go on till about 10 o'clock then, guys, if that's okay. I've enjoyed it tonight, yeah? Thanks for turning up. Richard Brown, Time Crimes is very similar to Triangle. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Excuse me. Right, Kevin's saying, The Rise of the Foot Soldier is an awesome series. Quite a lot of colourful language, right? But very thrilling and a gruesome true story too. Good cast as well. I'll have to check that one out, yeah? Yeah, cheers, Kev. Brian Gilson, sadly, it isn't a big box set, but a Blu-ray collection of Universal monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, and the Wolfman. All right, is that the 4K one you've got there? Because I know they released the 4K, didn't they? With the first Universal monster movies in Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, the Wolfman. Or is this another one? Because they released quite a few of those Universal box sets. So it could be the 4K one. Okay, just waiting for some more comments to come in. So yeah, so I'll be on till 10 o'clock. So if you want to ask me anything at all about horror movies and that, even horror books, horror actors, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Might actually do it at some point, not now, but sometime in the foreseeable future, I might actually do a questions and answers, a normal video and that, so if you ask you to send me your questions and that, I'll do a video answering them all, in one of my videos and that. So just an idea that I'm sort of like toying with at the moment. So I'll let you know, guys, anyway. And I've never done a Q&A, an actual Q&A video on my channel. So I'm looking into that. Kevin is saying, Pat Tate from Foot Soldier, you wouldn't want to meet him on a dark night. Oh, he's quite a brutal character, is he? Am I Dead Yet says, have you, I presume say seen The Changeling in 1980 with George C. Scott, a great haunted house film? Do you know what? I've watched that a couple of times. I've tried to like it, but every time I've watched it, a bit like Hereditary, every time I've watched it, I just cannot develop a liking for the movie at all. Yeah. But having said that, it's got a great atmosphere. It's got a big creepy house. The premise was good, but it just lacks something. I don't know if it was a bit slow, but it just lacked that certain thing that sort of like that would have elevated it, to a level that I would have liked, unfortunately. But as I've watched it a few times, that the change. Like George C. Scott delivers a great performance, doesn't he, as the main protagonist and that, the creepy house and that, But yeah, it's a movie I just haven't been able to develop a liking for, unfortunately. So the last time I bought it, again, flogged it on eBay, yeah. But I do know a lot of people do like that movie. Richard Brown, Exorcist 3. I've seen that quite a few years ago. Is that the one with that scary hospital scene where the figure walks past all of a sudden? Yeah, seen it once and I don't remember too much about that one. Am I Dead Yet? Yeah, Scott is in that too, Exorcist 3, right? Oh yeah, George C. Scott, I believe he is, yeah. Kevin's saying Pat Tate, played by Greg Fairbrass from EastEnders and London's Burning, right? Just waiting for more comments to load up, guys. So yes, I've enjoyed it again. Yes, thanks very much for coming. And as I say, next week I'm going to be starting my guests. So we'll be all going well. Be having Jordan on from a movie where he's going to be on the channel and that, So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll be sending more invites over the next few weeks and that to all the people that said I'd like to come on your channel. So yeah, should be fun. Yeah, looking forward to having guests on again. Yeah, so well, if any of you are going Blu-ray hunting, over the weekend, and I hope you managed to pick up some bargains and that. Yeah, I usually go to HMV for weekend and that, see if there's anything in and that, and pop into CX, see if there's any bargains and that. But say these here, as I say, Sent off for that. One of my favourite comedy films. Loved that one. And that was, yeah, very disappointing, that one. Bring Out the Fear. Yeah. Made no sense at all. It didn't explain why the woods were acting the way they were. You know, you didn't know if there was a ghost in the woods. There was demonically possessed woods and that. Yeah, it just didn't explain itself, guys. And just to show you again, Inside Number 9, fantastic TV series, highly recommended. Right, I've got comments now. Kevin's saying I might like to be a guest in the future. Oh, all right, Kev. Yeah. Well, you send me your details on that, and I'll put you down on the list and that, and I'll send you a notification. You know, I'll send you some dates and that, and you can tell me if it's convenient. Yeah. Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, I'd love to have you on the channel and that. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Anybody at all that wants to come on, I'm sending out again invites. Let me know, send me an email or, drop me a line and that, and I'll put you on my list and that, and I'll start sending out the invitations and that. I might even have 2 or 3 on, some weeks, and maybe just 1. Just depends really who's free. So yeah, please do send me a request. Richard's saying, watched any more John Rowland films? Oh, I did, yeah. I watched one last night. It was terrible. Yeah. Oh God, what was it called now? That's how memorable they are. Yeah, it's basically about this girl. She escapes from this it's kind of a institution and that, and she's got the Night of the Hunter. That's it, the Night of the Hunter. Yeah, she wakes up and that, and she escapes from this lunatic asylum, and she wakes up. She doesn't know where she is. Basically, this fella picks her up in his car, and she seems to forget things after 5 minutes and that, but always awful. Yeah, it was a terrible movie, so I'll put it on eBay. I'm not, to tell you the truth, guys, I'm not very impressed with John Rowland movies at the moment. So that most of them have been terrible, really boring, and that. I think I've got about 2 letters of Demoniacs. I think is one, 2 or 3. The Living Dead Girl. Yeah, I watched the 2 Orphan Vampires. Didn't think much of that. So yeah, not very impressed by his movies at all. They're very weird and that, and stories are very weak. It's bad enough reading the words underneath, but the film bloody boring as well. Oh. Brian's saying, have you seen Zoltan, Hound of Dracula? Yeah, I love that one. I've seen it a few times, yeah. I'd like to add that one to my collection, yeah. My only gripe is you don't see Dracula much in it because it's about the dog, isn't it? Yeah, but I would have liked to have seen Dracula a bit more, being a huge fan of the Count, yeah. But yeah, it's a good movie, that. That would be a good movie to put on a creepy dog horror movie, Zoltan, Hound of Dracula, along with Cujo, movies like that with creepy dogs. Yeah. Am I Dead? Yes. Talking about Craig Fairbass, have you seen the Wicker Man rip-off film he was in from the 90s called Darklands? I don't think I've seen Darklands. No, I'll have to check that out. But I have seen the Wicker Man remake with Nicolas Cage. I didn't like that, and I didn't like the Wicker Tree either. Didn't like that either. There's only one Wicker Man for me, and that's the original one from 1973, starring Christopher Lee and Britt Eklund and Edward Woodward. Yeah, that's the #1 Wicker Man movie for me, definitely. Kevin says, I've just got Jigsaw starring Jack Warner, a great murder mystery. Is that the latest Saw? In the latest Saw franchise? I think I have seen that one, actually. I didn't care for that one. No, I didn't care for that one at all. Richard's saying, I must admit, I like Gene Rowland. Oh, yeah, well, he's got his fans, yeah. Well, one man's meat is another man's poison, as they say. Dr. Impossible says, another good thriller horror was Frank Darbont's Buried Alive. Tim Matheson gets given an overdose by the wife. They bury him and he comes back to take revenge. Insurance, apparently. I haven't seen that one. Yeah, quite a morbid one, that, by the sound of it. But yeah, getting back to Gene Rowland, oh yeah, I haven't been impressed at all, from what movies I've watched of him and that. Yeah, awful, Brian says to Dr. Impossible, I totally agree. Great film. They made a sequel a few years later with Tim Matheson and Ali Sheedy, right? Anybody seen a movie called The Man with the X-ray Eyes, starring Ray Milland? That's a good one. Yeah, it's a kind of a sci-fi horror. Yeah, he's operating, and obviously with his eyes and that, optics, and with tragic consequences and that. Oh, and the ending, one of those shocking endings, guys. Yeah, Yeah, it's a good one. I highly recommend that one. The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, starring Ray Milland. Yeah, I like Ray Milland in Frogs as well. He's good in that. Yeah, and The Uncanny. Yeah, he made some good films, Ray Milland. Yeah, one of the classic American. Was he American? Was he British? Ray Milland. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Tony York. I just watched Eye of the Devil. Oh, I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie with Deborah Carr, David Niven, and Sharon Tate. Yeah, a French set folk horror with similarity to Wicker Man. I love that movie, Eye of the Devil. I've watched it many times, and every time I watch it, I have a blast with it. Yeah. Oh, very, very creepy, especially where Deborah Carr's in the water and all those rogue figures and that. And Sharon Tate, she's sort of like hypnotized her to fall off the precipice. Oh, she's fantastic in that, Sharon Tate. Yeah, she really is. It's the brother of David Hemmings. Yeah. Oh, I love Sharon Tate. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous lady, a very, very fine actress, and a life it tragically cut all too short, but I love that Eye of the Devil. I just wish they'd made it in colour. Just how beautiful that would have been in colour, the scenery in that, oh yeah, fantastic, yeah, oh yeah. You've named Tony, you've named one of my all-time favourites occult movies there, Eye of the Devil. I was really made up to get it on Blu-ray, yeah, and oh yeah, not slow at all. No, I don't think, some people think it's slow, but I don't think it's slow. I think it's very well paced, not a boring moments in it. Stellar performances by David Niven, Deborah Carr, Sharon Tate, David Hemmings. Yeah, #1 movie. Yeah, definitely Eye of the Devil. You haven't seen Eye of the Devil, guys? You want to check that out? It's fantastic. Kevin's saying, no, Alan, it's an old black and white movie starring Jack Warner. Oh, right. And directed by Val Guest, early 60s. Oh, right. I haven't watched it yet. It's supposed to be really good. Richard says The Man with the X-Ray Eyes was written by Ray Russell, horror novelist and short story writer. I've got his book of short stories, Ray Russell. I haven't read them yet. It's supposed to be very good. Yeah, that one. That one where the doctor he captures his wife, doesn't he? And he threatens to kill her unless he Mr. Sardonicus. Yeah, it was made into a movie by William Castle. That was one of his stories. Mr. Sardonicus, he wants him to fix his face. He's deformed, isn't he? And if he doesn't fix his face, he's threatened to kill his wife. He's got his wife tied up in that, And I think he's got, is it a hunchback assistant helping him, whipping the women they captured in that, yeah. I'll have to, I know the one you mean now. Ray Russell, you're the you mean, yeah. Kevin says you you should watch Ray Milland in the thing with two heads. I haven't seen that one. Is the other one, The Man with Two Heads? Is that a separate one, or is it the same film? I know this one, The Man with Two Heads. This is the thing with two heads, isn't it? I'll have to check that one. Two heads are better than one, as they say. Double header. Yeah. The doctor's saying it's worth a watch. I see Final Cut Entertainment are releasing both Buried Alive and Buried Alive 2 together on DVD. I have the Shout Factory release. Good watch, though. Yeah. Brian Gilson, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes was really good. Ray Milland was good in the film where he has a fear about being buried alive. Yeah. Good movie. Richard Brown, Last Great Wilderness was one of a group of great British horror films that most people didn't see. It's very good. I haven't seen that one, Richard. Kevin, Mr. Sardonicus is great. It certainly is. Yeah. I've got that in the in that box collection, William Castle. It's a fantastic box set. That the first William Castle one. I wasn't too keen on the second one. There was a few duds in that one, but the first William Castle one by Indicator is got Mr. Sardonicus. It's a great one. That love that movie. Tony York, I've never heard of it until it popped up on it. IMDb as a recommendation. Really enjoyed this. Would have looked good in colour, although I guess the black and white added a kind of eeriness to it. Yeah. There's some nice colour photos of Sharon Tate from Eye of the Devil on the internet. If you track them down, where she's wearing the blue, like it's a kind of a blue blouse or jumper, and she's got the medallion, and she looks really stunning. Oh yeah, well she looks stunning in every photo. Let's face it, Sharon Tate. Yeah, but yeah, love Eye of the Devil. My other favourite Sharon Tate movie, horror movie. Well, it's a kind of a horror horror comedy, The Fearless Vampire Killers or Dance with the Vampires. That's a good one. I spoke about it many, many times on this channel. If you love Hammer movies with a comedic slant, I think you might enjoy that one. Also known as Pardon Me, but Your Teeth Are in My Neck. Yeah, stars a husband, Roman Polanski, who also directed it. Yeah, so check out that one. That's a good Sharon Tate movie. Right, guys, we've got about 10 minutes to go. So if you want to get your questions in, I'll answer as many as I can. You know, ask me anything about horror, anything at all. I'll be willing to, you know, answer as many as I can. Yeah. Do my best anyway. Yeah. Thanks again for turning up. I've really enjoyed chatting to you guys again. Dr. Impossible says, there's a creepy Japanese horror film from the 1980s called Cyclops. The film focuses on mutant infants. Oh, right. I haven't seen that one. The film is short of 15 minutes, but it's creepy. It sounds creepy. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, yeah. I do remember. Was it in the 1950s? Lon Chaney Jr. made a movie where there was a Cyclops. I don't remember the title. Was it The Curse of the Cyclops? But I know Lon Chaney Jr. He was a bit older in it. Like he was a bit more chubbier, you know, and you could see he'd aged and that since the Wolfman movies. But yeah, I think he's in a bus, takes them out to the jungle. There's a Cyclops creature there, unless I'm thinking of another one. But anyway, guys, if that rings a bell with you, put your comments forward and let me know if that's the same film I'm referring to, the one with Lon Chaney Jr. But that one you just mentioned, I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, cheers. Kevin's saying, have you seen Castles? I Saw What You Did. It's a classic. I Saw What You Did. Is that the one with the... Yeah, I've seen it, yeah. The one with, what's the name in? Joan Crawford. Yeah, they get the phone. Teenagers messing around, aren't they? You know, ringing people up and that's like, I saw what you did and I know where you live. Yeah, yeah. Watched it not so long ago. I love it. It's a great one, that. Yeah, it's a great one, that, Kev. Yeah, real thriller. Brian Gilson, do you like Dracula Dead and Loving It? It's really funny. Do you know, that's one Dracula movie I haven't got in my collection. Leslie Nielsen, yeah, it's a spoof Dracula movie, isn't it? Yeah, I'll have to send for that one, Brian. Yeah, Dracula Dead and Loving It. Yeah, I like Leslie Nielsen. Richard Brown, Shanks with Marcel Marceau is a weird William Castle horror film. I haven't seen that one, Richard. Shanks. I presume we're not talking about Bill Shankly. Shanks, the great Liverpool FC manager. Am I Dead? Yes. Audition was a crazy Japanese horror. It certainly was. Yeah. Oh God, she was a right. What's her name here? Wasn't she? Right bloody nut job. She was. Brian says that Am I Dead? Yes. Audition is a crazy film. Yeah. That ending is a tough watch. Indeed, it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, oh yeah, it's yeah, she was right bloody screwball. She was, wasn't she, in that audition? Am I Dead Yet? To Brian, full film is quite tough to watch. Yeah. Yeah, so 5 minutes to go, guys. And as I say, you know, get as many questions in as you can. I'll try to, you know, answer as many as I can get through. Right, Dr. Impossible says, Evil Dead Trap was another Japanese horror thriller that I saw back in the late 1980s and later served as a template, for the innumerable acclaimed horror movies and games to emerge from Japan. Yeah, I haven't seen that one, Evil Dead Trap. Kevin says, Dead and Loving it is very funny. Pushed her. I'll have to check that out, Kevin. Yeah, definitely. Brian Gilson says, Am I Dead? Yes, I totally agree. Yeah. Am I Dead? Yes. Another unknown film I've watched, The Last Great Wilderness with David Heyman. Yeah. Haven't seen that one. Two guys are on the run from gangsters and they end up in this weird commune in Scotland run by Heyman. Anyone seen this? I'll have to check that out. Yeah. The Last Great Wilderness. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, just went with some more comments, guys. Yeah, I really enjoyed it tonight. Yeah, you know, as I say, like, I really appreciate you all turning up and that and having a good old chat about horror movies and that. So I'm most probably checking that new Evil Dead movie that's it's coming out. You know, anything to do with the Evil Dead, I always watching that, you know. But I have to say, guys, the only two Evil Deads I really like are the first 1 and 2. You know, the original with Bruce Campbell. Especially my favourite one, number 1, is the very first one. You know, the very first Evil Dead. But I thought the series was spoilt by the comedic wisecracks and that. Once you start coming out with comedic wisecracks in it, supposedly purportedly serious horror movie, it totally dismantles the enjoyment factor for me, and I find myself being more and more inclined to reach for the off switch. You know, the same if they make a stupid mistake, what they wouldn't make in real life. You know, oh God, they just ruined the film there in the blink of an eye. You know, so do you find that, guys? You know, when you're enjoying a movie and all of a sudden, out of the blue, a character might say something like that's supposed to be funny, but it isn't, or they might suddenly do something what you wouldn't do in real life. It totally destroys the credibility of the movie. Yeah, let me know any examples, from films you've been enjoying up until that point. Be very interested to hear hear your picks. Am I Dead? Yes. It's kind of horror, but Last Great Wilderness, creepy Victoria Smith is in it too. Yeah, as I say, I'll have to check that one out. Brian's saying, what Blu-rays are going to be looking for when you go Blu-ray hunting? Well, I think anything that appeals to me, read the back. There's one 4K I'm looking forward to coming out, and that's Burial Ground, very, very underrated zombie movie. Yeah, that's coming out soon on 4K. I've got the original one. I've had it quite a few years. The original Blu-ray, Burial Ground. I think it's 88 films, but this is coming out in 4K with extra features on. So I'll be getting that. I'm toying with the idea of picking up Pulp Fiction, because I seen it many, many years ago and I don't remember too much about it. But that's a gorgeous looking slipcover on the 4K. And as I said, John Travolta's in, isn't he? And Emma Thurman. But yeah, years since I saw it, so I don't remember too much about it. I do remember the dance though, what they do. Yeah, but other than that, I couldn't tell you what happens in it and that. I think it was one of the first films I rented out on my old VHS recorder in the 80s. Yeah, so I'm toying with the idea of picking that up. I picked Willy Wonka up in the Chocolate Factory on 4K, so I'm looking forward to revisiting that. Because of course I buy other films as well. Don't just buy horror movies, as you know. I buy other movies as well. But yeah, I'll definitely be getting that Burial Ground. Yeah. We've got 3 minutes to go, guys. So as I say, any questions you want to ask me, feel free to do so. Richard's saying, have you seen the short version of The Evil Dead, the original student film? Sam Ray. Do you know what happens? I haven't seen it. No, I'll have to. I presume it's available on YouTube, is it? I'll have to check that out, Richard. Kevin's saying Pulp Fiction is great. Yeah, as I say, I might pick that up actually at the weekend. When I go to a HMV. Yeah, love that slipcover. It does not hit your eye. That's a nice slipcover as well. Although I'm not really a great fan of the movie. That the Humphrey Bogart one. Oh God, is it the Maltese Falcon? One of his big movies. The slipcover is lovely, but I'm not a great lover of the film. And some of these the slipcovers and that, they look gorgeous and that, but when you watch the film doesn't always live up to the aesthetics of the packaging, does it? Found that many, many times. So yeah, I've enjoyed it tonight, guys. Talking to you all live and that. And next week will be special because starts having the guests on and that. Jordan from Movie Worm and that. He's just launched a new horror channel as well. Yeah, so looking forward to chatting with him. And as I say, in the subsequent weeks, and having more and more people on. So yeah, it should be a good night. Yeah, so. There's some good suggestions tonight, guys, for movies I haven't seen, So I'll definitely have to check them out, especially that one, The Last Great Wilderness, with David Heyman. Definitely have to check that one out, yeah. So yeah, anything at all, like what you think I might have seen, put them forward and that, I'll check them out, yeah, see what they're like. So I'll be winding down in a minute, guys. So thanks again. Have a nice weekend, whatever you decide to do, and stay cool in this bloody hot weather. Yeah, that's if you're like me, if you can't stand it, keep cool. Might be able to squeeze one or two more in. Richard, on another film channel, one of the people on it throws away slip covers. Oh, I don't understand these people who throw the slip covers away. What's wrong with them? The slip covers add to the aesthetics of the packaging. What makes them throw slip covers away? Oh, I can't get my head around that. Just can't. It actually angers me that when I hear about people throwing the slip covers away. I think, what the hell? Why? Right, so am I dead? Yes. What about that film Peeping Tom? Did Psycho rip us off? I haven't seen the full. I don't know if Psycho ripped it off, but I know Psycho was based on the novel by Robert Bloch, wasn't it? I don't know if it ripped off Peeping Tom. Peeping Tom's not as good a movie as Psycho, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't really know the full story about that. Whether it was actually a Psycho did rip it off. I don't think it did. You know, I think it was. I think it was its own beast, Psycho. You know. All right, then, guys. Well, I'm going to love yous and leave yous now. So thanks again for turning up. I've really enjoyed chatting to yous all. And, you know, hope you all have a nice weekend and that. And if you pick up some bargains and that, if you're off shopping, you know, for films and that. And, yeah, love talking to yous all, guys, every Thursday about, you know, when I can make it on, about horror and that and other things and that, you know. So really enjoyed it and that. And thank God we didn't have any trouble from the trolls tonight. So let's just keep it that way, eh? Yeah. So, yeah, so as I say, I'll be back next week with Jordan as my special guest. And I say, have a nice weekend and take care of yourselves. And I look forward to speaking to you all again very, very soon. Take care. Bye. Bye.